Folks, we're here with none other than a dear friend, incredible West Texas radio personality, television too. Man, this guy's incredible. His name is none other than Spencer Bennett. How you doing, Spencer?
My brother Brant, I am doing fantastic. It's so good to see you.
Oh man.
I will tell you that we may get a visit from a special guest in just a minute because
Hey.
I know I've left my office door open
Uh-huh.
and here he comes.
Oh my gosh. Can't wait to see
It
here.
it is Maverick the Wonder Dog. Come here, Maverick.
Maverick the Wonder
Come on,
Dog. Hey, oh my
come on,
gosh.
get up here. Oh, look, there's Brant. Yes, this is Maverick the Wonder Dog.
Oh, it
He is
doesn't
a
get any cuter than that, man.
he is so smart and loves the
Oh
daddy,
my gosh. He
don't you?
just wants your attention.
Oh,
Look
I
at
went
that.
and I knew I was going to be in trouble when the door didn't shut all the way, and we were going to have
Yeah.
Maverick the Wonder Dog on. So,
That's all right, man. Oh
oh,
my gosh. Man, he's
he's
your
big.
size. Good
Yeah,
gosh almighty.
he's
What a
about 75
beautiful.
pounds of love. That's what
Oh
he is.
my
Why don't you
gosh.
have a seat, buddy? Here, why don't you sit down?
What
Sit
a
down. Good boy.
beautiful, beautiful boy there.
Oh, he's
You
a
must be
sweetheart.
very proud.
I am very proud. And he's a rescue, like all our animals are all rescues,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
because, I guess I was a rescue too,
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
God
That's a
rescued me.
rescue?
Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
He's a rescue. Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
We had a single mom with a new baby,
Oh,
was
okay.
working nights, and it was just impossible for her to take care of him. So we did a
Right.
rehousing fee, and he's about 2 years old right now, and he's all of that. If you've ever been had kids that are 2 years old, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Right. Especially kids that are that size.
Yeah,
My
75-pound
goodness.
kid. Yeah, 2 years old.
I
Uh,
bet mama's just wrapped around his finger too.
oh yeah, oh yeah. He's a sweetheart. He's definitely but he's a daddy's boy. But he
Okay.
loves girls. I mean, any girl that he sees when we're out at
Uh-huh.
like PetSmart or wherever, man, it's like he jumps up, gives them a very soft hug because he'll
Uh-huh.
jump up, but he'll lay his paws very softly on them, and yeah, he's a guy lady killer. He's a lady killer,
I
aren't you?
bet. Well, I bet all the girls love him, and
Oh yeah,
everyone. What a beautiful, sweet, precious uh, baby dog you got there.
yeah.
I
I tell
call
you
it
what,
that
we
because our dogs are our kids.
yeah, our
Especially
fur
when the kids
babies.
are older.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like every animal that we have is a rescue.
Uh,
I think I might have sent you a picture of a couple of our latest rescues. One of them is a turtle that we
a
named
turtle.
Gertie. Yes, Gertie is a turtle. Gertie is unlike any other turtle I've ever
Gertie.
had. Gertie the turtle.
Gertie.
I think it's a guy, but he's the hurdy-gurdy, and I call him the hurdy-gurdy because if you don't feed him grapes on time, he will. If you're out in the backyard barefooted, maybe sitting in a chair or something, he will actually come up and bite your toes.
I think that happened one time we were talking, man.
It, it was,
Yeah. Now
yeah,
I've heard of rescue dogs, but I never heard of rescue turtles.
yep, rescue turtles, and we have
Oh,
a rescue bunny. It was I guess somebody found a cottontail as a baby, and they raised him, but then he got out, and nobody ever claimed him. So I just left the back gate open and left a trail of carrots. He came right in. I can't get him to leave now.
you
So
baited your rescue rabbit, and
it
hey,
worked. He's
he's part of
happier
the
than he's
family.
ever been. He's
You
like
know,
twice the size of when we got him, too. So
oh
he's
my
doing good.
gosh.
And two rescue cats.
Well, where does it stop? Is there a rescue horse and a rescue chicken?
I don't have room for them. I would go for rescue chickens right about now because I mean the price of eggs, whew, man, it's like they're up 183% right now with inflation. So yeah, I could do rescue chickens.
No kidding. I met this woman who has an incredible Chinese restaurant, and she says she has chickens in her suburban backyard. I said that's
Yeah,
probably good because the food shortages they're trying to impose. Over 21 food processing centers mysteriously burned to the ground, and China is
mysteriously.
rolling out their synthetic meat with Bill Gates and all the farmland he's bought up after this administration told farmers
Right,
to destroy their
right.
crops or they would lose some subsidies. So
Now
it's an
it's just a
amazing
conspiracy
time.
theory. Wink, wink. No, I mean this is unprecedented what we're seeing, Brant.
Right.
between the food processing plants and the farms and everything else.
Right.
This doesn't just happen. How many times does it have to happen before it's not coincidence anymore?
Right. Well, Spencer, a lot of people feel helpless. I started this show with Brigitte Gabrielle called News You
I
Can Act On. A lot
know.
of
I
people you've
love
seen.
Brigitte, and I love you too. You both
Oh
do a
yeah,
great
well, I
job.
love you too, man.
She
She
is
loves you
cuter though.
too.
She's
You
cuter
know,
than you are.
well, without a doubt. I mean, gosh, she could read the back of his cereal box and people would listen.
I
But
know, right?
we created something that I've never seen before. Number one, it's a return of journalism.
Right.
Secondly, it's news you can act on. In real time. You go to Act for America, get their news alerts and petitions. They actually have things filled out. You can just push click, and your average state representative considers one phone call 1,000, according to their statistics. And so, who would have known that just one phone call that you can make to your representative could literally make a huge difference? Sometimes the difference between a bill being passed and not. Spencer, I wish. And of course, now you have always done true journalism for a long time. You were doing podcasts before anyone knew about podcasts, with Citizen Armed and the list goes on. And I'm so happy you're back on the air about to talk about that as well. But folks, really, you better get active, because, in the annals of history, you will either have been a part of the solution or you were a part of the problem because you did nothing. But without a doubt, Spencer, we're under attack, and our country needs some rescuing too. And so, going a little further, you're back on the radio. You were on West Texas radio for what? I mean, over 20 years, almost 30 years.
Oh, no, I'm only 15 years old, Brant. I couldn't have been on that long. Yeah, since 1982. Had a
Wow.
long run, and then took a little break, got into law enforcement,
Yeah.
and now I'm back. Had a little injury, so I'm doing radio again. I love it, and it's a perfect format for me. I'm over at KCRS, which is, if you say it without the spaces, it's KCRS, News Talk
KCRS.
550. Yeah, two FM stations. I believe it's 95.5, 97.5, and 550 AM. And then they've got an app. They've got, we broadcast on Facebook Live. So you can actually see my ugly mug in the morning on Facebook Live. So,
Oh,
yeah,
you don't have an ugly mug, Spencer.
I have a face for
I
radio,
know
brother.
ugly, man.
But you're right. I mean, and I've talked to I even talked to our governor. Okay. Talked to our governor, talked to our congressional and senatorial reps. And what it is the left, and I love the way they explain this. The left only needs one reason to go out and vote, but conservatives only need one reason to stay home.
Wow.
And unfortunately, that seems to be, has played out over the years to our detriment. And we've allowed these people to infiltrate our education system,
Right.
in our daycares. I mean, they're targeting the children. They understand,
without
they
a
get
doubt.
it. They get it. I mean,
Some
you
things never
take out,
changed since the days of Babylon, the
well, if they
Tower of
can't kill them
Babel.
out in the womb, they'll try to, take them over or castrate them in the classroom.
Right.
And that's what's happening. Some of these teachers, some of these schools, if you sign, and you need to check this out, parents, it is back to school time. But if you have a student going back, you better check that medical consent form, that they cannot give immunizations without your knowledge or your approval. They cannot give hormone blockers without your approval, because that's happening too. And you better know what's being taught in your schools. We know that people like, well, John Cornyn, who I'm not a fan of, is pushing, he pushed the red flag laws, and now he's pushing CRT in our schools. This is supposed to be a Republican. And like I said, conservatives need just one reason to stay home and not vote, but we can't do that anymore. We have got to make our voices heard, and a phone call is nothing. But like you said, it can make a huge difference. Being able to contact people, and Brigitte's group is doing, Act for America is doing such a great job with that.
They are.
And I just love her. I think she's terrific.
Well, I do too. And you know what? Let's go even further, Spencer. Sheriffs, school board leaders, city council people, they have more vetoing power on a local level than the president.
Yes, they do.
Many things are left up to the state, and we don't run for those non-sexy jobs, it seems. Of folks, the average school board member is late 60s, early 70s. They don't have any kids. And the types of people that run for those usually are the left, because for some reason we love rallies, we love conferences, you know, and we only think about the presidential election, but we don't realize that no matter what is decided, even the sign of signed by a pen, executive orders under President Osama, who really made that. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Obama,
No, you
Osama,
were
who
right.
made that popular. And of course, here we are in his third
Yeah.
term. Nobody believes that this little old man that they're not even sure if it's really him or not is the president. I mean, go with me overseas, Spencer. They all think it's a joke, and they're waiting for us to do something about it. But folks, we need you to run for something. And they love to hijack everything they can. They hijack the rainbow, God's promise. They want to hijack this, hijack this. If you can't create anything, but you can only steal, kill, and destroy, and rob and pervert, then what else are you going to do, right? But
You're exactly
we
right. And look, what have they done?
yeah,
They've redefined what a woman is. They
right.
can't tell you what a woman is. They're not a
Until the
biologist.
abortion issue, of course.
And
Now all of a
then
sudden
they
they're
know.
women, but now
Oh,
now it's back to
birthing
whatever you want
persons.
it to be. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they're birthing persons. They've redefined recession. They've redefined racist because, well, if you're white conservative, Christian, then guess what? You're a racist. I mean, at
right.
that point, when I'm in a debate with someone and they start spouting that out because they can't win an argument, it's a
Right.
medal of honor. I mean, it's like when you use a term over and over and over again, it's like Nazi. It's
Right.
like nobody believes it. It takes the power out of it. If they understood what the Nazis were, which
Oh, yeah,
is
they
what
did.
they are, fascists, socialists, they are actually the self-fulfilling prophecy of what they say they hate. It's like Antifa. You're
Right.
kind of the antithesis of what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Well, Antifa
So
are the brown shirts of the left, and
yeah,
the
and
largest terrorist organization in
they've
the
been
world.
militarized in this country,
What do you do with
weaponized.
that, folks? What do you do when you because of the internet and because people are waking up. I hope it's not too late, but they're waking
Yeah.
up. They're waking up to the fact that only 18 Nazis were tried at the Nuremberg trials. The CIA allowed the West Ukrainian Nazis to operate up to this day. People don't know
Yes.
that. I got banned from a fascist book for a while because I just simply posted the emblem of Western Ukraine that it still has the Nazi bolts and the Luciferian black sun. Still has that, folks. Oh, but we're distracted with Johnny Depp. Slide of hand. Look over here. Look over here. People are beginning to wake up, and unfortunately, a lot of people are realizing, that after the World War II, the Nazis didn't go away. They came
No.
here, and their
They
offspring are running the
Operation
show,
Paperclip.
folks. If you don't know about Project Paperclip, it's not a conspiracy theory anymore. Where do you think NASA
Mm-mm.
came from? So that there's a lot of
And the
disillusionment.
CIA
Yeah,
and the CIA too.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
Luciferian, you need to figure out the Luciferian roots of the CIA also, because these people were into the occult. And when you talk about mind control, brainwashing, and all the things, the horrible experiments, it's just like the Nazis just moved their operations over to
Right.
America. And are we seeing the bureaucracies, the law enforcement, and other things weaponized against us now?
Oh yeah. Well, the spending bill that Brigitte and I have been speaking against, $80 billion to weaponize the IRS against you. They lied to you. They said it was $400,000 a year or per household. That would be no, 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 no. Now they're going after anyone making over any household over 50 grand. You will pay most of the taxes for yet again this experiment that has failed time and time again. Folks, the middle class is the only thing left to take away before communism. It happened in Germany, happened in China, happened in Venezuela, Russia. The list goes on and on. But Spencer, it's the same protocol. You override the system, you crash the system with trillions now, but you crash the system with ridiculous spending to entice third world voters and to entice the ignorant to vote for their own demise. Then you blame capitalism once the economy has crashed. Then you bring in socialism. Then you declare a dictator. Then you disarm the populace, and then you massacre the dissenters. Then everyone is starving and poor under communism, but the elite. And it's interesting, Spencer, that even the useful fools always end up being killed themselves for two.
I was gonna say, do you know
Yeah,
where the term useful idiot comes from?
right,
Yeah, Karl Marx came up with that, and they
right.
they said basically the useful idiots were the ones who instigated the revolution
Yeah.
and then would be first killed once the totalitarian
Oh
folks
man.
took over. The useful idiots.
Right. Well, it's like, I was an adjunct college professor 23 years ago, believe it or not. And, it was the goal of the average professor to bully these kids and it was even said on the board of OU. We're going to rid these country bumpkins of their God. Yes, folks. If you don't think it's that straightforward, you got another thing coming. See, the
Well,
problem is, Spencer, the
yeah,
people that subscribe to faith and patriotism, those are the people who don't want to break the law, and they want to believe that everyone's good, and then of course the left. Hey, it's just your environment. Your environment is why, to take away all the guns and no one will, man, the criminals will always get their guns, it goes on and on. The bottom line is that without God and without a sense of patriotism, folks, you know what? There are no constraints. If there's no internal constraints, then you go crazy. Look at the Soviet Union. If you do this, we will shoot you. You do this, we will shoot you. You do this, when they removed the external constraints, but they had taken away faith, there was no internal constraints, and therefore it went crazy. Well, the same thing happens over here, and especially with this youngest generation. I have hope for, but when you try to take away faith, believe it, folks. It is very deliberate. It is very systematic. All you have to do is read the Communist Manifesto. All you have to do is read The Project from the Muslim Brotherhood, and you will know exactly what Biden is up to, folks. And I don't care how you vote. I don't know about you, Spencer. There's a lot of Democrats I know. They're like, "Hey, we didn't vote for this." Well, you did
mm-mm.
vote for this. They
Yeah,
told you they told you what they were going to do. You can't play stupid on this one. But it's
no,
okay if you're surprised, but do the right thing. Vote right next time. But it takes even more. We need precinct leaders.
yeah,
Poll watchers from 6 feet over. That's not going to work. You get to go home and they bring out the suitcases. You saw the footage,
yeah.
folks. So anyway, we need everyone to step up, to run for something, and to act for America and take action in your own hometown.
And that's being salt and light
Right,
to preserve. And people may say, well, I'm a Christian and I don't believe in politics. I don't think I should
right,
get involved. Well, if you don't get involved, you'll be a Christian in a camp. Okay. And I hate to
Goodness.
say that way, but if we don't do something, and what we have forgotten is people don't want to be involved in government, but
Right,
this grand experiment that our forefathers put forth, guess what?
right,
You're the government. You, not the guys in Washington, not these people that represent us, because they rarely do, but you are. It is a government by the people, for the people. And guess who the people are? It's us. And if we're not being salt and light, we're not being good citizens, which the
right,
Bible commands us to be, like going out and voting and then taking these areas where we can, because that's taking ground. It's holding the enemy at bay.
right,
Nature abhors a vacuum, and if Christians aren't going to take those positions, the enemy will, and he has
right.
over the last few decades, whether that's school boards, like you said, whether that's elected officers, whatever. It may not be the dog. If you want to run for dog catcher, run for dog catcher, but be a Christian, the best dog catcher ever, and be salt and light in
Right.
that position. But if we don't do anything, if we just say, I'm just going to sit and watch my TV and play on my cell phone and just hope it works out okay, or that's not what God wants us to do. God wants us to be actively involved. We've got to be salt and light. And to be salt and light, you've got to be involved. You've got to take that ground. Okay. We've got to take that back from the enemy. Otherwise, we're going to lose this generation.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but I don't want my kids and grandkids growing up under this stuff. If it's time to fight, and I'm talking about spiritually and maybe even physically, but if it's time to fight, let it come to my generation so that my kids won't have to deal with that. Well, that would be great. Guess what? We're that generation. We're going to have to get out there.
Yeah.
We're going to have to take back ground, and we're going to have to fight to get our freedoms back. And the sooner we do it, the better off we're going to be.
Well, Spencer, you're a voice You've been a voice in the desert, literally in West Texas desert, and you've gone above and beyond for your country and for your state. I mean, how many morning show radio hosts make such a bold stand and then get banished for it, then go in a law enforcement service and then coming back into radio, smart radio station, by the way, that has you on right now, and a very foolish one that pushed you away, because where are they? Folks, we meet opposition by people who simply just take up space. But when you stay the line, I walk the line. I'm wearing black, right? Every day is Johnny Cash Day.
Thank you,
When you
Johnny.
walk the line, though, you know what? There's a scripture: if God is for you, who can stand against you? And when I think about my enemies, when I think about the people that have lied about me or misjudged me, where are they now? They're nowhere. But where am I? I'm right there in his hand, trusting him, folks. You better trust in God. Like Bob Dylan said, it may be the devil, it may be the Lord, but you're going to have to serve somebody. And, folks, I'm not seeing a difference anymore between left and right. I'm just seeing good and evil. I'm seeing everything dark, everything vile, everything disgusting, everything destruction, kill, steal, and destroy. And then I'm seeing life. But I also see a whole lot of people that are asleep in the light, like Keith Green would sing about. Folks, you got to wake up while you have a chance, and not be those people. Spencer, you're a person who makes things happen. There's people who watch things happen, people who say what happened, and there's people who make things happen. Well, you and I and Brigitte and others, we make things happen. And folks, it's time. It is time that you awaken and you take action, because if you let things happen, they're always going to go in the wrong direction.
Yeah. And you're going to have to give an account
Right.
at some point when you stand before God and he goes, you had a country to save and all you did was nothing.
Right.
I don't want to be that man. I mean, and thank God for the ownership of KCRS radio. Okay. Thank God for ICA broadcasting. And I'm going to throw them out there because they're fantastic. And thank you, John Bushman, for your stand in this area for Christianity and for your Lord. And because I have that type of support to do what I do, then I don't have to worry about somebody walking back from corporate and going, you know what? You're just not politically correct. And we're just going to we have this agenda that we want you to kind of follow. And corporate policy says you got to use the right pronouns. And but that's what's going on in corporate America right now. And I may be being sarcastic, but that's what's going on. You use the wrong pronoun for that person, you're fired. I'm sorry, I don't play into somebody's delusion.
Right.
I don't. I'm not.
Right.
He, she, and that's it. It's as easy as that.
When they do an archaeological dig, there's only two ways to go on that.
Yeah.
And that's male and female. It doesn't matter what you have added to or taken away. You either can give birth or you can't. Well, a man gave birth. No, it didn't. It was a woman, botched up to look like a man. The man wasn't made for that. Even the skeletal structure is different. Even the chromosomes are different, folks. But our children are growing up in a world where they need leadership. Those who are afraid of offending everyone else, that's not leadership. That's what cowards do. Because if you notice, the other side isn't worried about offending us. Fox News just banned Trump. You don't see Brigitte on there either. Why? Because the sons, the liberal children are running the show. They're all on this together. And of course it's the same old game. I work with members of the Black community and Hispanic community and all types of wonderful people, God's beautiful tapestry. But racism is a construct for the poor to keep the poor divided, because if you have a Black billionaire and a white billionaire, they don't care. They're not hung up on that. You go overseas in France or Germany or Egypt, you go in other places in the world, they're not hung up on that. And yet America only had 2% of the world Black slave trade. But you don't hear that, do you?
And we also had white slave trade here too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did long before that. I'm a descendant of some of that. The Irish white slaves in America. Oh, it was a myth. No, it's not a myth, folks. You're just listening to the wrong people. But, Woodrow Wilson, Democrat, president, erased all the black heroes, the black hero patriots that fought, for our country and had such a great place in our history. Andrew Jackson, Democrat, founder of the Democrat Party. It was his people that founded that, the Native American genocide, the party of the KKK, the party of slavery, the party of Jim Crow. Biden, I can't believe that people voted for him. He put away more black men, his laws than anyone in history. Clinton, my gosh,
I know.
The list goes on and on and
but
on.
you can
Every
be on the
major
left,
in
Brant,
our country, and people
Yeah.
they're still blinded. And you even got preachers, Balaams, who are not warning the people, and they will receive a Balaam's reward, Spencer. We got to see truth and justice, and we have.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And I was going to see we're in sync here, because I was going to bring that up too, that you can be as racist as you want if you're on the left.
Right.
Whether you've got a new Hispanic representative in Congress and they call her I'm not even going to repeat what they call her.
Right.
In blogs by her political opponent, who's a Democrat.
Right.
Or you have Joe Biden saying that if we get rid of integration, we're going to have a jungle in our school. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And then you've got Joe Biden going, well, you Hispanic Americans, you're my breakfast tacos.
Oh, gosh.
What?
Yeah.
But see, that you can be that stupid and that racist on the left, and you're forgiven by the media. If
or
anybody
Hillary,
on the right,
you call black men super predators. She did that in the 90s. She invented political correctness, the term, folks. It's time to wake up. It's not a Republican thing. It's not a Democrat thing. Trust me. They all go to lunch together in Washington, D.C.
They do.
They drink and they laugh it off. They laugh at you and they call you, useless or worthless eaters is what they call you. And all these bogus bills that they're passing is lining their pockets. Make no mistake. But it is time that people awaken, and they need to awaken now. So all that to say is, Spencer, it is always an incredible thing to spend time with you and to see you back on the air. Of course, see you on television. I'd like to do this more often with you.
Me too.
Your knowledge speaks for itself, and you make a stand. Here you are again on the airwaves, taking territory from the prince of the power of the air. As am I, as are the others with GLC and these other platforms. So thank you so much for coming back on the air. And thanks for joining me, man. And we got to do it again, okay?
I want to do this all the time. I just love that you're operating powerfully in your gifting. This is much success, much blessing coming your way, brother.
Well, you always, my friend. And folks, we'll see you next time. God bless you, and God bless America.
What is the word on the street? Real people, real stories. What the world is saying versus what he says. Watch the word on the street on GLC.